Did you know that cutting off the feet of these turned into a billion-dollar brand? Sarah Blakely wanted to find a way to smooth lines under her pants, so she cut the feet off pantyhose to create her shapewear. With just $5,000 in savings, she set out to find a manufacturer, but every manufacturer turned her down. She received no after no after no, and she was about to give up, until one finally agreed to produce a small batch for her. Sarah marketed and modeled the shapewear herself until one day, Oprah named Spanx her favorite product. And in 2012, Sarah earned the title of the world's youngest self-made female billionaire. But that was just Sarah. She struck gold. She was just lucky. So you can't do that, right? What if I told you Sarah, like other inventors, followed a formula that many successful inventors follow, a formula that, if ignored, is the reason why many inventors fail. And for this formula to work, your invention does not need to be overly complex to become profitable. The Stanley Cup design has generated over $1 billion already and has used this formula. Today, I'm going to walk you through the steps to turn your invention into an actual product. Most people never take action on their ideas, but you're different. Something has pushed you to start the journey of creation, so watch till the end of this video to take it to the finish line. Imagine if Sarah Blakely didn't take the leap of faith, or if Thomas Edison never invented the light bulb. Do not hold out on the world. They need your invention. Now, the first step should be starting with a frustration or problem. First, it's crucial that your invention solves a problem. That is what inventions are for, to solve problems that have not been solved before, to bring visions into reality that were once thought to be impossible, or maybe not even thought of at all. Like Mary Anderson noticing that streetcar drivers in 1902 were struggling to see in bad weather. They literally had to stop to wipe off their windshields by hand. This is when she came up with the windshield wipers. Imagine if she never solved this. I honestly do not think I would be driving. Tim Berners-Lee made the World Wide Web so that people could access information globally. Cooking was taking way too long in the modern day, so Percy Spencer invented the microwave. Wet hair was also taking way too long to dry, so Alexandra Ferdinand invented the first hairdryer. As you're inventing, you must be sure of the problem you are solving. Let's talk about your target demographics. Who is your product even for? It might not be who you think it is. Edwin Land saw the need to skip developing times. Pictures would have to be sent off or processed in the black room. He was frustrated with how long it took to see photos, especially after his daughter asked why she couldn't see a picture right away. This led him to invent the Polaroid. However, despite his genius in creating the instant camera, he initially misunderstood his product's target demographic and how they actually wanted to use his invention. He thought the Polaroid camera would mainly serve scientists and professionals. However, it ended up being everyday people, families, friends, and social groups who fell in love with it. Realizing his mistake, Land shifted Polaroid's marketing to focus on capturing everyday experiences, turning the camera into a cultural icon. This absolutely skyrocketed sales and made Polaroid synonymous with instant memories. You may think you know your audience, but when it comes to inventing, you have to let your target demographic find you. Put surveys out there, let people try it, give free samples or access, and see who loves it the most. Then serve those people. If you already have a target demographic in mind, then try to solve their unique problems as best as you possibly can by getting to know them better than they know themselves. Just make sure it's a problem they're truly motivated to solve. Guys, speaking of super cool inventions, Oxford scientists have just achieved quantum teleportation. So what does this mean for us? Well, it's not the teleportation of humans or objects yet. This breakthrough allows instant secure data transfers, paving the way for a future of unhackable communication and incredibly powerful quantum networks. Now, the biggest excuse I hear when it comes to people turning their invention into reality is that there's already too much competition in the market. So how do you deal with competition between other inventors racing to the finish line? Nintendo dominated gaming in the 1980s, but in the mid-90s, Sony entered the market with the PlayStation. Actually, after a failed partnership with Nintendo, the two companies have since battled for gaming supremacy. Despite their rivalry, both continue to thrive, each of them shaping the gaming industry in their own unique ways. While competition can be tough, this shows that there is space for multiple inventors to make their mark. While you may not be able to take on the whole market, you can have your share. Plus, you can actually use your competition's genius to make your inventions even better. Learn from their mistakes and wins. Your competition is actually a gift that can help you innovate better and faster. Now, what is the first step to bringing your idea to life? The first step to turning your invention into reality is by building a prototype. Prototypes give you the ability to fail quickly with little risk so you can iron out your design, test your assumptions, and spot any potential issues. We can learn from the infamous James Dyson on this one. From the words of his truly, "It didn't happen overnight, but after years of testing, tweaking, fist banging, and after more than 5,000 prototypes, it was there." He built 5,000 prototypes using household products in his garage before perfecting his first bagless vacuum cleaner. 5,000. Not all of us are like Jimmy Neutron or James Dyson though. We need a little extra help on the execution. So, I went on a hunt to find out where all the geniuses who could make our inventions were hanging out. This is what I found. First, I came across Maker's Row, a website where you can connect with over 20,000 manufacturers for all different kinds of goods. Guys, then it got even better. I found a platform called Fab Labs, and they have community spaces all over the globe where inventors and designers can connect and learn together. You can actually find a Fab Lab next to you by just using their world map. Next, I came across university innovation centers where you can actually hire out students. I then found a website called Proto Labs for 3D printing and injection molding manufacturers. I found github.com for software builders. And lastly, I really like this platform called IDEO for strategic, sustainable inventions and resources. But wait, after all of that, what if someone tries to steal your invention? There are sharks out there waiting to snatch up any new invention they can, so it is crucial to protect yours and keep it safe. Take Antonio Meucci. He invented a voice communication device called the Teletrafono, and he sent his prototype to the Western Union Telegraph Company, which later claimed to have lost it. Sure, they lost it. Unable to secure a full patent due to not having enough money, Meucci's work was overshadowed when Alexander Graham Bell patented a similar device and received credit as a telephone's inventor. Moral of the story, you need to patent your work. Here is what you need to know in order to keep your invention safe. There are utility patents and there are design patents. Utility patents protect an invention's function, process, and structure for around 20 years, while design patents cover its appearance, shape, decoration, and pattern for about 15 years. Choosing a good patent attorney is key for this, so you can check the FICPI or the WIPO directories to find one. Before applying, make sure your invention is not already patented. Then draft a summary and detailed description, define the scope, pay the fees, and respond to any objections. Once you're approved, don't forget to pay maintenance fees to keep your patent enforced. As Abraham Lincoln said, the patent system added the fuel of interest to the fire of genius. Let's talk about funding your inventions. Now, we don't want to turn into Antonio Meucci and have our inventions stolen just because we can't afford to bring them to market. So here are 4 ways to fund your invention. Number 1, bootstrapping. You can fund it yourself and keep all of the equity in your company. I actually have a video on how to bootstrap a business if you're broke, and I've linked it down below. 2, you can get an angel investor. You can use a platform called AngelList to attract and engage with potential investors. 3, you can crowdfund with platforms like Indiegogo and Kickstarter. You'd be surprised how many people are willing to fund new and exciting inventions. 4 is venture capital. You can give up equity in exchange for funding. VC investors look for a scalable business model, a large market opportunity, innovation, and a competitive advantage. To secure any kind of funding, you will need to create a compelling pitch. Tell your story, share your motives, and give financial projections. I've actually linked a Shopify blog article below on how to create a killer pitch to get funding. Okay, let's talk about bringing your product to market. Once you get money, what do you actually do with it? You're gonna need to source your manufacturer, team, and materials. This process takes time, so be patient. You're gonna need to decide whether you want to manufacture locally or overseas and find materials that balance durability and cost. As an example, it took me 11 months to find the perfect fabric for my clothing design. Developing your business plan. As an inventor, you will also need to become a businessman or woman. So spend some time putting together a basic business plan. You should have things such as the market analysis, competitive advantage, marketing strategy, financial projections, and some realistic milestones. I've actually linked a Shopify business template down below for you to check out and use. Once you've created your product, it's time to let the world experience it. You have a few distribution options. Direct to consumer, where you can sell products online or in-store yourself directly to people. Brands like Apple use this model. You can quickly set up an online store using Shopify, and I've actually linked a free trial down below for you. Retail partners. Stores will buy wholesale and sell your products directly. This is amazing for making bulk sales. As an example, Ruth Handler used this method for Barbie. Licensing. Companies will actually pay for rights to produce and sell your invention, either upfront or as royalties. George Lucas actually used licensing for Star Wars, generating billions of dollars in royalties. Quiz time. Who invented the lava lamp? Comment who you think it is down below. Marketing and launching your product. Let's get people excited about your product and make sure it doesn't get lost in the noise like the Segway did. Sorry, Segway. It is vital that you create pre-launch hype around your product. The goal is to get people biting at it far before you release it. Think about the Stanley Cup phenomenon. They didn't just sell a product, they actually sold an identity. Buyers joined a community, making the cup a status symbol. They brilliantly used social media marketing to fuel the feeling of exclusivity. Now imagine the Wright brothers documenting their invention journey on social media. It would be an absolute hit. Unfortunately, they did not have that luxury, but you do. And sharing your process can build lifelong superfans. Think of Steve Jobs unveiling the iPhone. The hype at that event was absolutely electric. You can create that kind of excitement by launching a pre-order campaign and gaining a lot of interest before manufacturing. Also, do not sleep on paid ads. I've linked Facebook and TikTok ad tutorials down below for you to check out. Packaging and branding. Your branding and packaging matter as much as the product itself. Just look at Apple's sleek, minimalistic design. You want to tie your invention to a clear purpose, community, or lifestyle to make it feel essential to your potential customers. You can use storybrand.ai to help with your messaging, Hatchful for your logo, and if you want to go deeper, check out packaging architecture. It's a whole field with a lot of room for invention. Now you are ready to bring your invention into the world. You're gonna run into challenges, and you will find yourself with many unanswered questions, and you will face moments of doubt. But so did every great inventor before you. What set the successful apart wasn't the absence of setbacks, but their unwavering belief in their vision. What is your invention? Comment it down below if you're so courageous. I'll leave you with the wise words from Walt Disney. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Chrisma Shulukina with Learn with Shopify. And if you found this video helpful, please leave us a like and comment down below to let us know. If you know a fellow inventor, send this their way to encourage them. And as always, if you want advice on all things to do with launching and running a business, subscribe to stay up to date on our weekly videos. Bye.